What's something that annoys you, but makes you look like an asshole if you complain? People talking when I'm tired. Babies or kids crying. I can't possibly go and say shut the fuck up, even though I really want to say it. When someone responds to your email, but doesn't answer any of the questions you asked. How about when someone replies to your message, but seems to only reply to the most irrelevant sentence in the whole paragraph? Drives me nuts. People who stand way too close to you in lines at the store. I was standing in line at the bank, and every time the line moved, the guy behind me would inch closer and closer to me, to the point that I could feel his breath on the back of my neck. I was getting really creeped out, so the next time the line moved, I moved forward, but put my hand on my hip and slightly rocked back on my heels, effectively elbowing him in the stomach hard. He moved back after that. When people tell the same sad, personal backstory to everyone they meet, I suspect for sympathy. I want to tell people to stop trying to get sob story points, but then I'm the minor thing wrong with food delivery, like sauce you asked for is missing, so now you can't dip your wings in anything, and even though you paid like 50 cents for it, if you ask them to redeliver it, you know they are going to hate you. Those trips people take to third world countries to build homes and schools and wells etc. and then post it on social media smiling with a bunch of kids. I can't put my finger on it, but it peeves me to no end. They're usually doing good things for people. I just hate it. People walking so slowly, or people who let their dogs walk on the other side of the footpath to them, so that the lead stretches all the way across the path and makes it hard for anyone to walk around them. When people are like there are people who live in poverty, so it means you aren't allowed to have feelings. When there are open seats in the rear of the bus, but some folks insist on standing right in the aisle and not moving aside, which blocks newer passengers from accessing the seats they may want to sit in. YouTube ads. I know there are a lot of people whose entire incomes come from those ads, but they are still intrusive and commonly show up at inconvenient points in videos. I hate repeating myself. At least, when I'm actually speaking. Typing is low effort, so I don't mind. But when I'm asked to repeat myself enough times, I just get irritated but say nothing, never mind. To avoid looking like an asshole. Any kind of team building at work. Same with site meetings. I have no interest in building relationships with my coworkers. I have no interest in how my company is doing financially and what the company's goals are for the next year. Just send a GDM ad about that crap. I just want to do my job and go home. I'm tired of hearing about Donald Trump all the damn time, especially in conversations that have nothing to do with politics. I don't like him, hence why I'm tired of him. But if I complain about it, I get found the Trump supporter. Little kids getting in my way, doesn't matter if it is the grocery store, the park, etc. Their parents do not keep track of them, and then I'm the d**k for not grinning at the little demon spawns when they step directly in my path. When I'm walking behind someone in a large crowd and they stop suddenly or turn around. Especially at the airport or somewhere like that, where you're really only supposed to be going from point A to point B. The crowd was flowing smoothly, but now I have to maneuver around you to get where I need to go. Children. Just, in general. I hate how loud they are. How gross they can be. Cover your mouth. Chew with your mouth closed. Wash your hands. Stop picking your butt. How they constantly want attention. The obnoxious toys. The mess. The terrible TV and movies they obsessively watch. The way that it takes over my friends' lives and becomes most of their personality, at least for the early years. If I say anything though, I'm a horrible person. I understand this on a basic social level though, so of course I don't say anything to my friends who have kids, or love the idea of having kids or find them cute. I will never have those same feelings. Thankfully, my wife is the same way, and we are very happy being child free. Don't get me wrong though, I find the subreddit for that topic to be super toxic and negative. Most of the time I don't bring it up or tolerate it, because I don't want to be an asshole. But, if you ask me, I will at least be somewhat honest and explain why it just is not for me. Anyways, that's it. And the older I get, the more my friends are having kids and the more it bums me out. I'm glad they're happy, though. So there's that. Being a parent is the hardest job. Really? Cause if you have a developmentally normal healthy child, most of the time it's not that bad. And I've only got a few years experience on the topic, so maybe it goes real sideways and I've just not hit the difficulty drop yet. But brain surgeon, crab fisher, underwater welder, those all look way harder than hanging out with a little person, who I'm awful fond of. People genuinely crying, expressing real sorrow. I was punished every time I cried as a kid, and it resulted in some weird psychological phenomena. I didn't learn to comfort people until I was like 23, and I'm still not great at it. Intellectually I know what I should do, emotionally I'm incredibly agitated. Having a conversation with someone, and when it's my turn to speak they use it as an opportunity to check their phone and messages. And once it's their turn to talk I'm expected to give them my full attention. Those people that wait at red lights to go knocking at your window to ask for money, or those that just start cleaning your windshield out of nowhere and dare to ask money for it. Parents saying you won't understand X until you have a child when X has nothing to do with childcare. Have a long work day. Try that and having a kid. Need a mental health break? Having a kid is a full-time job. Don't get me wrong. I like kids and I see it's a really tough job, but sometimes it just seems like they're using it as a reason for why their chosen suffering is worse than yours. People bringing their kids to work. Not so much because of the kids. I notice they don't care about me one way or another, but the parents. 9 out of 10 they look at you like, look, I brought my precious child. Don't you think he or she is cute? Dote on them. Especially because I'm a woman and I guess I'm expected to get weepy over a tiny person I don't know. No, thank you. Brian, please keep the child in your office. I do not wish to play with it. I work as an ER nurse. The thing that annoys me most is when I'm taking care of someone having an actual life-threatening emergency and someone there for their cold symptoms or chronic back pain starts moaning in pain or gets really demanding. I've literally been screamed at by someone who rolled their ankle 30 minutes ago about how I wasn't taking good enough care of them or getting them pain medicine when I was in the process of trying to move another patient into a room to set up for an emergency chest tube because they couldn't breathe. Wish I was exaggerating even a little bit. Look, I get you're in pain, but the ER shouldn't be the place to go for certain things. I have to prioritize who needs me the most, the person most unstable. And it surprises me so much that people always assume they're the only ones in pain in a full ER. People that leave too big a space between each other while waiting in line, threatening the stability and cohesiveness of the queue and possibly forcing me to wait longer than expected while your fat ass stares at the menu of the fast food place that hasn't changed its menu in 60 years, you sick king piece of shit. I have issues when people have to put other people near me. For example, if I park in an empty parking lot, by the time I come out someone has parked right next to my car, even though the whole parking lot is empty. Or when I'm eating in an empty restaurant and the staff put the next customers in the booth directly behind mine. Why? You have the whole restaurant? Why do I have to listen to people's phones and loud children when you cold put them anywhere else? Taking care of disabled family members who constantly take their hatred of their life out on you verbally. Nobody sees the abuse. They see you complaining about the poor 400-pound lady who needs help doing literally anything. For me, a female who grew up in the deep south, it's men who call me a familiarity. I've hated this my whole life. It presumes a level of intimacy that doesn't exist, and in fact, by presuming, can never exist. That said, it depends a lot on tone, context, and whether or not the man in question is genuinely friendly, really southern, old-fashioned, or doing some kind of weird power play. If it's the former, I probably won't correct him that once, but if it's a man I run into with any regularity, I would correct him kindly, then stop responding if he forgot, because after that, it's a choice, and a shitty passive-aggressive one, at that. If I suspect it's a power play, I use the same familiarity on him, and it often shuts him up, and shuts down the whole conversation, which is what I'm going for anyway on anyone who attempts a power play. Older woman here, so just don't with me. I've heard men who tell me they'll forget, and I'll have to remind them. Nope, I won't. I say, I've told you once what my preference is, and you understood. So from now on, it's on you to remember what I prefer to be called and honor my request, since it's a rather small one. And if you can't honor my request, then I guess we just won't talk. If you forget with their quotes, and I don't respond, then you'll just have to remember, won't you? Returns awkward to sender, along with their responsibility. Not caring if they talk to me or not. Total gold. I win it all. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Let us know your thoughts on this topic. See you soon.